What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Horror Honda, where I sit in my beat-up Honda and ramble about horror movies with no production value except this Walmart microphone and my iPhone camera. And it's a little found footagey. And today is going to be inspired by that. We're going to talk about a found footage film that I would have to sit and actually stew on it, but might be my favorite found footage film. And I am a found footage whore. I grew up as a kid and teenager in the era of found footage, of torture porn stuff. I love Rob Zombie, Eli Roth. I love found footage. That was just the time I grew up in with my friends bullshitting around. So while a lot of people hate those, think it's cheesy, it's almost like I feel like liking Rob Zombie and Eli Roth is like the Nickelback of the movie world at some points. I feel like when you tell people you're like, I fucking love Rob Zombie, they're like, they got like one good song. So I don't know. I enjoy him, but I enjoy found footage. And this film is one I came to not at the time it came out. It came out in 2007. And it had kind of a production hell of getting put out, and it was on shelves and got taken off the shelves, and was on demand and not on demand. And now it's got a pretty steady home on most streaming services you can find, and that is the Poughkeepsie tapes. And this one, I remember seeing Paranormal Activity, and you have a point in it where you're like, what if that is real? Like, I don't know. Then you see a movie like Creep, which I enjoy, and you go, what if that is real? I don't know. Like, you have to kind of put yourself in the mindset of what I'm going to pretend this is real. Like, I'm watching something that's not fake. This one, genuinely, if you were just flipping through the TV and it came onto your screen and you started watching it, you would think that you're watching a live fucking murder scene. And the Poughkeepsie tapes, I don't know how it doesn't get talked about more. And maybe it has in the last few years, but this is a film that the footage that is found is, it's almost like a police investigation, and it's all these VHS tapes of this killer in Poughkeepsie. And you're going through the tapes of the killer, showing what he did, how he did it, when he did it, and they splice in with investigators talking and detectives talking and explaining the motives, how they were trying to find him, how they do this, how they do that, what their intentions are. And it is so jarring in scenes. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen the clip of where there's a gal, I've seen this gif online a bunch, where a gal's like tied up and there's a guy crawling in the background with like a Shakespeare mask on. Very unnerving. Very creepy. But that is just touching the surface. If that unnaturalness and that grittiness made you uncomfortable, the rest of this movie is going to get you. And they do found footage in such a way that, again, they splice it so well with real life stuff that if you were just flipping through, you would think it was real. And there's not a lot of movies that stick with me at this point anymore. I think they're cool in the moment, whatever. But as far as when I turn the screen off, I'm still pondering that, or I have a scene locked in my head where I'm just uncomfortable. Very rarely does that happen to me anymore. This movie did that tenfold. Following the chronicles of this killing, of the killer, of the depraved, sick things he's doing to these people, watching him stalk and meticulously hunt down it's sickening. And I can get how some people aren't going to like it. Some people just don't get into found footage. There are people that despise them. And if you do despise them, this could be one, in my opinion, that would turn you around. If you didn't like Paranormal Activities, you didn't like Blair Witch, you didn't like Creep, which that's an underrated found footage one I'm going to have to talk about someday. This is one that I think could turn you around. It just brings a new element, and this is the first one I've seen where you genuinely get a feeling of, oh God, what if this is real? It's sickening. That's all I can say. If you've never seen this found footage film, you need to if you're a found footage fan, go fucking watch it. Without question, Go watch it. I think it's going to stick with you, and I think you're going to love the angles they play. If you are not a found footage person, I think you need to give this one a shot. I think this one will change, not your opinions on found footage. I think this will be one that you can at least respect. You may not enjoy it, but I think you will respect the goriness, the grittiness, the fact you're going to feel like you need a fucking bath afterwards watching this. Just the depravity. It's a... If you have a weak constitution, don't watch this movie for sure. If you can't watch like true crime shows, definitely don't watch this motherfucker, because it is going to destroy you. I just can't give much away. This one's hard to talk about because I don't want to give anything away, because you have to watch it. You have to see the positions he puts these people in, how they get put in, the outcome of what happens, the twist, how they have to look for him and search for him because he's not like other killers. It's a fucking roller coaster, and it's not for the faint of heart. I wouldn't recommend this to a casual horror goer, but if you know your limits, if you like found footage, if you like killing and serial killers, I think this is one to add to your list. This is a shorter review and kind of vague, but I don't want to give much away about it because you need to experience this all first time watch and see what your vibes are. And if you like this movie, put it down below. If you thought this was just another found footage bullshit and it didn't do nothing for you, put it down below. I've heard some people think it was overhyped at the time. They'd heard about it and heard about it and heard about it, and they had that production hell of trying to get it on shelves. And when people finally saw it, they were like, that's it? That's it? So you might be in that boat. Put it down below if you were. Do all the stuff that the YouTubers tell you to do with the subscribing and the liking and the putting in the go. I turned into a Cosby with my cadence. What else? Yeah, that's it. If y'all got any movies y'all want me to see or talk about, series, whatever, just put it down below, man. I will definitely get to it, and I appreciate the support. If you're watching this, if no one watches this, what are you going to do? Thank you, guys. Y'all are the best. Peace. Miss the pause button. Miss the pause button.